What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with UFC ENDS TV deal for the first time ever in 20 years. Brazil has been home to some of the best fighters in MMA history, but now fans in Brazil won't be able to watch their favorite fighters throw down on live TV. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. According to MMA Fighting, the UFC's ended their broadcasting deal with a local network ban despite having another year still left on their deal. Now, fans in Brazil will only be able to watch events like the weekend's Ribas vs. Dern card at the Apex on Fight Pass. On top of the fact that the UFC does not have a broadcast partner in Brazil now, the whole situation is happening ahead of the UFC's US broadcast deal coming to an end in 2025. For the past 7 years, the UFC has been under contract with ESPN. And although the promotion might still stay with ESPN, there are plenty of contenders expected to be in the running like Netflix and Amazon. Merab Dvalishvili not interested in wrestling at UFC 311. Merab Dvalishvili and Umar Nurmagomedov might be two of the best grapplers in the division, but when the two share the octagon next weekend, the champion has no interest in going to the ground. During an appearance on Michael Bisping's Believe You Me podcast, the Machine spoke about the fight.
It's gonna be a great fight. I'm not accepting any easy fight from Umar. As a fighter, I always respect him, and I always know that he's a good fighter. And I'm excited to fight a good fighter like Umar. He's undefeated, and I'm gonna change his record.
Dvalishvili then went on to say that although he wrestled with Sean O'Malley and wants to show off Georgian wrestling, he doesn't have much interest in wrestling against Nurmagomedov unless he has to. Instead, he wants to keep things on the feet. I'm ready for striking. I'm not going to look to take him down, control, lay on top like O'Malley. I'm going to punch his face, kick his legs, keep it on the feet, and I'm going to show a good fight. It's going to be a great fight, even if it's going to be a lot of scrapping, a lot of exchanges. I believe it's going to be fight of the night. Ahead of a big couple of weeks for Team Khabib between Islam Makhachev and Umar Nurmagomedov's fights at UFC 311 and Usman Nurmagomedov's fight on the PFL's Champions Series Road to Dubai card, the PFL champ told MMA Junkie that he's actually more stressed about his teammates' fights than his own. Honestly, I'm more nervous about these guys fighting than my own. My fights, I don't care even. I know what I can do and I know my skills. I just have to go in the cage and the referee will say, let's start guys. I love this. I'm more stressed and more nervous about Umar, about Islam, about Tagir Ulanbekov and these guys. But with these guys, Khabib is there. Even if Khabib wasn't there, it's because I love these guys so much. That's why I'm nervous. With all three fights right around the corner, it'll be interesting to see how things play out across all three divisions. Arman Tsarukyan has no harsh feeling towards Islam Makhachev. Even though both guys in the UFC 311 co-main event don't like each other, it sounds like it's the opposite for Arman Tsarukyan heading into his main event fight with Islam Makhachev. During an interview with UFC on TNT this week, Tsarukyan was asked for his thoughts on Islam Makhachev based on his experiences with the champion. Instead of taking shots at the champ, he said that he actually likes Makhachev. He's a very humble guy. I like him and just a good guy. The belt motivates me, not him. Ever since going the distance with Makhachev way back in 2019 in his UFC debut, Tsarukyan has been gunning for a rematch. Now, after going 9-1 since then, the streaking contender is looking to avenge one of only 3 losses on his record when the two share the octagon next weekend. UFC updates. Heading into the UFC's first fight night of the year on Saturday, the promotions dropped the official poster for February's UFC 312 card Down Under, where Dricus du Plessis and Sean Strickland will throw down for the middleweight title, and Weili Zhang will throw down with Tatiana Suarez for the flyweight title. With the official poster out, we want to hear your thoughts. Did the UFC design team deliver? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. Leading up to the first card of the year, we've got a few new additions to a couple different cards in March, starting with a fight between Damon Blackshear and Cody Gibson, set for the UFC Vegas 104 card at the Apex this March. Blackshear is going to be looking to build on a win over Cody Stamann, and Gibson will be looking to pick up his 3rd win in a row. The following weekend on the UFC Fight Night London card, Nathaniel Wood will throw down with Morgan Charrier after Wood's win over Daniel Pineda in July, and Charrier's win over Gabriel Miranda in September. Then, when the UFC wraps up the month of March in Mexico, David Martinez will fight Simon Oliveira, and Ateba Gautier will fight Jose Medina. In the Martinez-Oliveira fight, David Martinez will be looking to pick up a win in his UFC debut after a Contender Series victory in October, while Oliveira is going to be looking to snap a 2-fight skid after 2 years away from the octagon. In the Gautier-Medina fight, Ateba Gautier will be looking to pick up his first UFC win after a 2nd-round victory on the Contender Series back in September. On the flip side, Medina will look to bounce back from a loss in his UFC debut. Chris Curtis talks about Dricus du Plessis versus Sean Strickland. Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland might have had a falling out last year, but the two were seen on the mats at Extreme Couture to close out 2024. Because of that, Curtis was asked about the upcoming rematch between Strickland and Dricus du Plessis at UFC 312 during an interview with MMA Junkie this week. The way he sees things, given the champion's unorthodox fighting style, it makes sense that fighters have a hard time figuring DDP out. As he pointed out though, in the one rematch du Plessis has had, his opponent was able to get the win. Because of that, he's confident Strickland can get the W this time around. When you kind of know what to expect and you understand that he's dancing to his own song, I wonder how that goes, because his only rematch with Soldic, he lost. Yeah, that's years ago, but I kind of think it's kind of telling to where once guys figure that out, you learn what to look for. I think it becomes a different fight. I believe in Sean. He's one of the hardest working dudes I've ever met. I think he can do it. I'm pulling for him, but at the end of the day, I just kind of want to see this happen because honestly, it's the most high-level circus fight you'll ever see. Although the two were involved in a pretty heated spat last year that even saw Coach Eric Nixick's mom express concern over their falling out, Curtis chalked the situation up to the two having different personalities, beliefs, and boundaries, saying that this wasn't the first time the two got under each other's skin. Sean Strickland gets threatened by his teammate ahead of UFC 312. Chris Curtis revealed that he almost hit Strickland with a brick, and recently he threatened to cripple Sean before his match against DDP. Here's what Chris had to say.
I've been in this for like 10 years now, and there are times to where I've debated hitting him with a brick. Like, not even, I don't even say this. I'm like, bro, I'm gonna hit you with a brick. Like, I don't care like where it goes. And like this time led to a fist fight as well, and we were like really about to throw down, and the entire gym is like, are you guys really doing this? And we're about to like actually throw down, and I'm like threatening to cripple him before he fights Dricus. Like, I won't cripple you. So we get out of hand. But like, I've known Sean for a long time, so we do have our own issues, and like we will still need to discuss and talk about, and like to kind of put everything up front.
Henry Cejudo game plan for Song Yadong fight. After preparing Merab Dvalishvili for a fight with Henry Cejudo, the Machine's coach, John Wood, has a pretty good feel for Triple C's fighting style. The way he sees things, heading into Triple C's big comeback fight against Song Yadong, the big X factor for Cejudo is whether or not he comes out motivated. During an interview with Home of Fight's James Lynch, Wood weighed in on the Cejudo Yadong fight. The game changer is going to be, like I said, Henry Cejudo comes out motivated, ready to, and he's fired up still, has that drive to become a champion again. Then, you got a lot of weapons there, that he can deal with and put you on your butt. If he's ready to go and firing on all cylinders, I'd have to lean towards Henry, but Song Yadong is no joke, and man, that dude's got power. After unretiring and losing to Aljamain Sterling 2 years ago, Cejudo considered retirement. After then losing to Merab Dvalishvili in a title eliminator at the start of last year, Triple C thought about retiring again, but decided to stick around for what he hopes will be another championship run. Now, he'll collide with one of the most highly touted young prospects in the division in Song Yadong, who is fresh off a 3-round war with Peter Yan back in March that snapped a 2-fight winning streak. With Cejudo looking to get back into title contention and Yadong looking to cement his place as a true contender at 135, the stakes couldn't be higher for both guys. Tom Aspinall won't beat Jon Jones according to Cain Velasquez. Tom Aspinall might have a huge chunk of the MMA community confident that he beats Jon Jones, but the way Cain Velasquez sees things, Aspinall's got a predictable pattern to his striking, and Jones is a master when it comes to film study. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, the former champion weighed in on the reports that a fight between Jones and Aspinall will likely happen this year, saying that if the fight happens, he doesn't think that Aspinall will get the W. I don't think he does. Me just watching him, I kind of see his pattern a little bit in his striking, the way he comes in and strikes. I think Jon sees it too. Again, Jon studies, man. He does his homework, he's a master at this. He analyzes things and studies things over and over again. I think just for that reason, he's gonna know what to do. I don't think he beats Jon, no. Although Jones is fighting at heavyweight now, and the expectation is that he'll fight Tom Aspinall in a title unification bout, the only man with a win over Jones, Matt Hamill, said this week that he's willing to give the champion a rematch if having that loss on his record bothers him so much. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show this week, after announcing that he's able to hear his family for the first time in 41 years, Hamill offered Jones a chance to avenge his loss after it came out last year that it's unlikely the loss to Hamill gets overturned, despite 12-6 elbows now being legal. Dana White calls Joe Rogan to shut down the rumors about Jon Jones getting $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. According to Rogan, Dana said the rumor is fake and that Jon is more than likely going to retire instead. Here's what Joe had to say.
Speaking of which, I have to correct something. We were talking about Jon Jones. I had heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. And I did hear that rumor. And I did hear that the UFC said yes, but it is not true. So Dana contacted me, said that rumor's bullshit. So I felt obligated to tell everybody that was a fake rumor. I don't even remember who, because we did that podcast, unfortunately, we did that podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember who told me that.
What do you think the amount is that Jon Jones would fight him for, or do you think it's an amount?
Well, apparently Jon is thinking about retiring, and he should. I mean, he's going to have to someday. He should. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying he should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon Jones. He's the GOAT.
Here's what the MMA community had to say. Also, this is 100% damage control. I'd bet good money this fight is pretty much made. Dana told Joe to say this so people don't get the impression they can hold titles hostage for tens of millions. Jones versus Aspinall is happening. Biggest fight to make in modern UFC history, and we probably won't get it. I hope he does not retire. I'm hoping it's a negotiation tactic to get more money. It would be travesty not to ever see that fight. Told y'all Jon Jones would never make $30 million on a fight in the UFC. They don't pay their athletes like that. The UFC became just like boxing with their inability to make big fights because of money and politics. Truly pathetic to see what the sport had become. So Jon Jones is ducking. I want a personal apology from everyone saying this was a negotiation tactic.